Hello, old school movie reviews. Welcome to the apocalypse. It is another trashy B movie review. Today I have Russ Meyer's Supervixens from 1975. It stars Charles Pitt, Charles Napier, and Sherry Eubanks, and it was written, directed, edited, and photographed by Russ Meyer. Russ Meyer is a very unique figure when it comes to American filmmaking. A lot of, well, some critics, but a lot of his fans though kind of regard Ross as kind of an auteur in much the same way more serious-minded critics look at guys like Howard Hawks or John Ford or Alfred Hitchcock or uh, Jean-Luc Godard or Francis Truffaut as auteurs, meaning that they were these directors that are a certain skill set, uh, but more than that, they had an individualistic style and personality and vision and when it comes to their movies, and they come and use same sort of themes over and over, and when you watch one of their movies you knew you were watching one of their movies. um in a certain way Russ had that. And of course the other hand, Russ basically made trashy drive-in movies and exploitation films. So this film, Super Vixens, the premise is basically, I guess you could describe it as kind of a sex comedy road movie in a way. We basically follow the adventures of this young man named Clint. When it starts, Clint is working at he's working at a gas station, and he has to deal with his very shrewish wife. This corrupt cop gets involved, and things go from bad to worse, and Clint has to leave town. And then from there, Clint gets into one sticky situation after the next. We see him hitchhiking, and he gets picked up by this swinger couple who turn on him. There's this scene with Clint and this elderly farmer and the farmer's German wife. There's a crazy scene that has something to do with a deaf girl and driving around topless in the desert in a dune buggy and some kind of car chase or something. There's some other things that go on. And then eventually we come to the last part where Clint more or less hooks up with this lady that runs this diner slash gas station. And then that's when the plot kind of comes back, and it kind of connects to the original scene. The first scene and last scene um, connect to each other, but the stuff in the middle, it's all very random. They're basically their own little vignettes, you know what I mean? Let's see here. Um, it's kind of an enjoyable movie to watch. I can't sit here and say that, oh yes, the story is so great, or the script is so well written. It's actually kind of sloppy, but at the same time, it's interesting to see. I will say this: I do think it's a good looking movie. Just visually, as far as like the cinematography and the editing and the pacing and this visual composition of the screen and things like that. Um, it's not a boring movie by any stretch of the imagination. There's a lot of the humor though is really goofy and silly and slapsticky and just over the top. There's lots of silly sound effects, lots of goofy cutaway gags and things, the sort of thing that back in the day you might have seen on like Laugh-In or Monty Python. Some of the type of like blackout gags or non sequiturs that you would see on like a more contemporary show, like maybe Family Guy or something like that. But like I said, the movie doesn't take itself seriously, and it doesn't expect you to take it seriously. So what else here? Of course, it's a Russ Meyer movie, and Russ is known for putting, really voluptuous women in his flicks, and that's definitely here. And it's pretty interesting too because this was like back in the day before there was a lot of plastic surgery going on. So all of Russ's women are natural, and yeah, it's just interesting to see, all these kind of curvaceous women, all in one spot, all at the same time. Another thing, kind of piggybacking off of that, is this movie was rated X back in 1975, and really watching it, there's just no way it'd be an X-rated film today. You know what I mean? Yeah, like I said, it's kind of a sex comedy, and there's lots of topless scenes in it. But at the same time, it's not pornography. You know what I mean? Or at least not in the way that I think of pornography. It's not. Uh, graphic depictions of performers having actual sex or anything like that. You know what I mean? Heck, even if this movie came out in the 80s, I'm sure if you trimmed 10 seconds here, 20 seconds there, 10 seconds here, and 30 seconds there, you probably have an R-rated flick. It's just pretty interesting. What else? I don't know. I've seen Russ is a pretty polarizing figure. You know what I mean? I've seen things written about him where some people think, oh yeah, here we go with more of this sexism. You know what I mean? But I've seen other things where women actually have stuck up for him and say, yeah, he's got all these boobs, whatever. But at the same time, all the women actually are portrayed as kind of strong characters. So, you know what? I'll let you make up your own mind regarding that. And I guess that's it. I got to thank you very much for listening. Please leave any comments below if you've seen it. Tell me what you think. I actually saw this, believe it or not, here on YouTube. You know what I mean? Some crazy person uploaded it. So if you're of age, check it out and tell me what you think. All right, I guess that's it. Thanks a lot, and you have a good one.